It's sad the theme song is so good and the show is so mediocre. So now the whole show can't shoot together because Contessa got the vibe. I mean, she right, it ain't if it's when, and she out here trying to help the people, so I ain't mad at her. It ain't like she was out partying around Atlanta. They probably got it when they was doing the testing. But this will be interesting to see how they hang on for a week. Cause it's boring as it is. I mean, already we gonna have less interaction. Maybe they just should have done the season on Zoom and just insulted each other. I mean, at least Candy was able to give us, I'm embedded in your brain, Biffle. So day 8, we do a little bit of a Zoom call. Why is Quad and Carrie here? We didn't need to talk to everybody. The main cast would have been enough. Honestly, I would like to see what Jackie and Simone are talking about. But I guess Heffley's got her center stethoscope. And of course, Jackie's been making videos about latex lady parts. I mean, why you with Big Ugly? That's clearly where your passion lies. Just go with it. Let's be honest. Heavenly's like, what is that? Because you ain't seen yours in so long. Simone put her son up in a hotel and he didn't even bring her so much as a chicken finger. Ungrateful children. They shoehorned a scene of Anila trying to take some pictures in the free clothes she gets for her blogging. And I'm sick of her. She adds nothing. Bring back Lisa Nicole Cloud and Darren Noggles. Contessa actually showed up in a cute jean jumpsuit with some Donna Summer hair. I'm impressed. But then we gotta look at the back of Quad's head, and I'm depressed with the Dijonais look. So Quad replated some food she got from Whole Foods and is acting like she cooked. Girl, I know you can't make sushi. What? Contessa's nanny stole the dog. Contessa don't know how to find good help. I think you doing best with them cousins. So she whining that her husband turns 50 this year, but he's been ugly for a lifetime. And you've been a lesbian for a lifetime. Oh! She gonna say, how old was Greg when he started acting up? Greg started acting up because Quad wasn't gonna give him the baby that he wanted and be the wife that he needed. Now, Greg was full of shit. But Greg wanted a baby, and Quad wasn't here for it. Quad knew he was a mog and a moron, so we can't compare Greg to your husband, because your husband's a heterosexual. Greg is a mouse. Maybe a heterosexual mouse, but a mouse. Now, your husband may be ugly, but I'll classify him as human. He ain't giving me Stuart Little T. And I do mean little. But Contessa, let's be honest. Why didn't you and Britain bump buses you should have? Y'all both out here just messing over husbands. Then they gonna flash back to the reunion. Y'all had already been separated and you weren't having sex, so of course he went and met some other girl because he was looking to find someone to get pregnant. In the anus. Oh Lord, he's a frog looking something. They put a bad filter on this. Oh my goodness. They made him look sickly. I mean, he was always ugly and rat-faced looking, but never sickly. So he doesn't believe in therapy, so nothing's changed. Well, he's old school and you're new school Les. It's not gonna work. You wanted to have children and you thought you could live the heterosexual life, but now your bi is more of a lie. Maybe that's why you're talking to Quad, because she did have a secret lesbian relationship, according to Lisa Nicole Cloud, but she would know about secret gay relationships. After all, she's married to Darren Noggles. I wonder who he's noggling these days. Scott has a level of resentment because you and Britain bumped Buzz when you went out to shoot Married to Medicine LA. You cheated and he's pissed. Oh, Quad has gone on and accused him of cheating, working betwixt someone's thighs. Well, I mean, if somebody wants his lack of top lip, have at it, because Contessa don't want him. And I think she's looking at this as an out. Maybe then she can come out. And pull Simone and Jackie out while you're at it. Go on and open the closet. Air it out, honey. You, Missy Elliott, Queen Latifah. Ain't no room for the coat, so many of you in there. And rah! Dixon, too. Contessa said she can't focus on Scott, but you haven't been focused on Scott. You've got Britain on the brain. Oh, back from the commercial break at Lisa Nicole Cloud's house. Will we see Darren Noggles? Oh, Lord, we are seeing a rented Porsche from Tacky Toya. Girl, I bet you rented that car from Vincent on Married at First Sight. You know he in Atlanta. That's probably why his business doing good. All the faking and flossing. So, Toya, why did you go over to Lisa's house if she don't know how to pick good wine or heterosexual men? Just to make fun of her? Life has already done that. She got into a fight with Quad, and both of them had gay husbands. That's like Portia and Jackie Harry getting into it over whose husband is the bottom when we know it's both. So Heffley called Toya stupid on the Zoom call. And looking at the fact that she's selling her dream home after being in it for 6 months and it's still unfurnished, well, I can't disagree with Heffley. Heffley said, who's jealous? She's the brokest here, and you're the ugliest. You're a dentist with an underbite, and I'll never let you forget it. And Lisa Nicole is telling Quad, you know Anila didn't have your back. Oh, God, Toya, what is this confessional look? A short, harsh cut Cleopatra wig from that episode of Living Single, and this jean embarrassment? This is something from the Tyler Perry wardrobe on Sisters. That outfit is the ASN Sisters. Ain't shit. Oh my goodness. I can't believe you performed necromancy to bring this garbage back from 1999. And the Guess collection. Girl, I guess, but the guess is wrong. Guess who? Tacky Boo. So she's upset that Quad is questioned how she purchased her pool. I mean, you was able to get it dug out. You know, you still broke and you got to sell the house, but you got it for a minute until they put you out, and that way you'll have another plot line. Your foreclosure. Because you know Fulton County is just itching to tell your business. So Toya wants friends that are building her up. No, you want friends you can borrow money from. And of course, Jackie calls during the visit. Now, Jackie, you ain't had nothing to do with Lisa Nicole Cloud but helping run her off the show with your bony butt. So you can take your osteo and go. I'm sorry, the heifer looks like she needs a chewable. Oh, so Jackie invites everyone to, well, a lesbonic affair. Let's talk about sex and intimacy and care down there. Jackie, why don't you just get everybody in your stirrups, put your face in the place, and keep it pushing? I'm tired of your ruses and guises. Just be honest like Candy. You need to be in the dungeon. You would have had fun at that party, except for Bolo. Quiet as it's kept with all the lesbonics going on, Candy should have hired you. So Simone comes home to her husband, his new hairline, but fortunately his lesbian lover is hiding in the closet. Just like Jackie and Simone. Now, on this, I fuck with Cecil the long and the short way. He's like, these kids do not need to necessarily move out of our house. Yes, they are technically grown, but that's when you make grown people mistakes and then we end up paying for them anyway, or their lives end up messed up. They need a little more shepherding. Keep his butt in here. We got 2 houses. What the heck? And that's how generational wealth is formed. I would say not indefinitely, but 18, even up to, I would say 21, 22. Some kids, you know, they a little late bloomer. They ain't ready to just be out on their own yet. Why have them messing up their credit? Put them in the garage apartment. It's like, okay, well, I thought I was going to be done a lot earlier, but here we are. Oh, Cecil lost his beloved Scotty dog. Ooh, I know what you're going through. Simone gonna say, well, I'm here for you. Child, y'all just got back on the good foot. His dog was with him all through the tough times. While you and Jackie were snipping away, him and his dog took time to play. So now we have the good side of Heavenly. Her and her son are going to invest in buying a house together. Now that I support. I also support Allura reading the heck out of her and her never knowing what to say. I also support Dr. Damon. It's only Heffley I have the issue with. Well, it's how she treats the other ladies and the clothes that she wears, because she just won't respect a seam and buy her size. And clothes that fit her, well, I would say shape, but let's just call it the rectangle that it is. She's very rectangular and angular. I mean, the underbite jaw, the hip, the boxy shoulders, the back. Now, Toya has a nice back. Your back is, well, it's giving Nene. And Nene always wanted to have that back out. And I was just like, even when it's moisturized, it could be covered. The house low-key looks like it's set up to be a rental. 3,400 square feet is cute. Cute. The kitchen gives me leave it as a rental, and that second master bedroom with that eave ceiling, ooh, no. That you gotta blow out and turn into a real ceiling like it ought to be, in the words of Joan Crawford. It's very lake house rental. It could be modern. I don't know how much a good gut would cost. 3,400 square feet. I imagine a pretty penny. I wonder if that's near Lake Baylor. How you gonna tell your son to put on a poker face when he got a mask on? I actually agree with Heffley. He brought you to this $500,000 house so you could buy it for him. He'll slowly but surely renovate, graduate, become a dentist, and live there. Go on and give him the house. You rich. He's graduating. And every young sissy needs a nest. Heffley, if all you can complain about is the paint, that house don't need that much work. That's a nice house. Get it for him. It has a dock. Come on. Heffley, just like me. She said, I'm going to keep this as a rental. That's what I do. Oh my goodness, me and Heffley agreed about something, but we still disagree on her underbite. Heffley said I might buy Toya's house. Ooh, you could be their landlord. You'd be petty enough and Toya's desperate enough. And Eugene's cash-strapped enough. So now we're at Jackie's frig affair. She can call it a self-love party all she wants. It's a frig affair. Lisa Nicole Cloud is the first to arrive, and she shows us that HSN doesn't go with Gucci. That robe was just itching to get out of that belt. It was just... The Gucci belt did look real, but the robe looked flammable, so it threw it all off. Oh, no wonder it looked so cheap. It was a Lisa Nicole look. Contessa took an old bed sheet, wrapped it up, put some safety pins in it, and showed up thinking she looks marvelous. It's just so funny to see someone with that much confidence in a bed sheet. I haven't seen it since Andre Leon Taylor. And here comes Heffley, and all I hear is, J.C. Penney, I love your style. You know what? She's too boxy for J.C. Penney. She's come see the softer side of Sears. She that Mrs. section right next to the refrigerators and the washing machines. Heffley, you're a classy lady and a Christian woman, but your first child was conceived out of wedlock at your own admission? Sounds like Portia Huzzy moves to me. Trapping men and whatnot that aren't your husband. But at least Dr. Damon wasn't anyone else's husband. Oh, Lord, Simone showed up looking like Peppermint Patty in some easy access shorts. You could get that leg up and move it over to the side. Just let it hang out. Quad shows up in her rented G-Wagon. Y'all just throwing money Vincent's way. How are you keeping up with the payments since you've lost both paychecks? Because I can tell by this Old Navy altered dress you're struggling financially. Not to mention those Dijonais dues you keep wearing. So we have basically Cleo, if she had survived from Set It Off, getting ready to teach us how to toy with our twat. Oh, and she's a pornographer. No wonder Jack is so close with her. So, is it me or are we at peak lesbonics this year for both Atlanta and Married to Medical? Needs to be Married to Muff with these kind of lesbonics. That's why Jackie was able to take Cecil back after cheating. She was like, well, I didn't want your penis anyway, but for looks, we can't be that messy. Heavily, you frog-faced fool. You really think Jackie's focusing her freaky deaky on Curtis? Girl, she's saving all her snatch. Said she's saving all her snatch. Oh, she's saving all her snatch for Simone. So Simone asks Anila where's Toya while we're getting our food. And Anila says, I got my own issues with her. She's been talking about me. No, you haven't been paying your staff and you thought she was going to foot the bill. Ha! You thought Toya was going to foot the bill? They didn't pay the I, the R, or the S. A and L ain't even up in there. Toya and Eugene are the type of people where if you go out to dinner with them, you got to order your food at the bar and bring it to the table. And apparently so are you. So Heifer Nicole Cloud gets right to it and asks Quad why she was so shady on the Zoom call. Because she's Quad. She has nothing going on but her forehead. So of course she's going to shade you and your gay husband. And speak of the heifer, Toya and her unpaid mortgage walk in. But she's not taking her mask off. She's social distancing from the BS. Well, really the BF, bullfrog, Heiferly. And of course, Quad is upset that Toya won't give her the time of day. Toya said, I'm not letting my paycheck go down so you can get your come up. You lost your spot and I like it. But Toya, unfortunately, sits next to Anila thinking she's a friend. But she stepped into the lion's den. I heard you've been talking shit. I heard you were broke as shit. So there's something fecal going on. Anila really gonna say, I didn't need you to tell me I didn't pay the makeup artist. Well, then you should have paid him and nobody would have had that story. I'm hearing things from all over the subdivision. So this is why Toya's moving. Because she can't make friends with the neighbors. Jackie said, look, I'm trying to get to the coochie, so stop this contentious conversation. Oh, goodness. So Toya admits that she's dingy sometimes, and Anila said, you never said that to my face. Anila, you know you dingy. Toya said, okay, girl, you dingy. And what of it? What now? So what happens now? Where do we go from here? But now it's time to listen to our resident Les. That blonde hair look a little fried, though. Like that crunching sound when it hits the pillow. Heavily said, I'd rather have a man's money than his loving. Damon, you heard her. And I'm not surprised she said it. So Toya apologizes to Anila to shut her up, and I don't blame her, because you're not worth the scene. And you're clearly looking for a moment. Now, Quad, you gonna say Heiferly ain't having as much sex as she's claiming, and Heiferly says, as Quad, we be touching ourselves. So are y'all two enjoying your lesbonics? Was that really a lover's quarrel that y'all were having? Was Heiferly upset that you took off to Hawaii without her? Because, I mean, Jackie and Simone have been together for years, so we know you're not going to be able to horn in. Or maybe you were, and that's why Simone was so stymied. Oh, Lisa Nicole Cloud got an anal plug, but I'm sure she really meant to give it to Darren Noggles. I mean, what on earth is Lisa going to do with the butt plug? You should have given her a harness. She could use a new one. Child, Simone said she was a 7 with who? With Jackie? When your man damn near leaves you for a lesbian, I'm sorry, you're giving me a 2T. Contessa's a 10 with Britain. Contessa has a collar on and is getting whipped by a woman. They must have seen the Real Housewives of Atlanta and said, we're going to give their lesbonics a run for the money. And child, Contessa tooting it up like her name was Cordelia Stewart. So Toya is upset that Anila tried to bring the drama to the party. And Lisa Nicole Cloud said, I know! You didn't even know your husband was a bottom until 10 years in, so what do you really know? You don't know how to make enough money off your business where you don't have to bop around on a buddy pass, so what do you really know? You're the most unfashionable fashion person I've heard of. What do you really know? So Quad pops by Heavenly's to pop that puss. So Heiferly and Quad sit down to eat, and Heiferly complains about Toya saying her house is raggedy. But it is, and it needs a power wash, like your spirit. Quad says Toya's smelling herself because she struggled to, but successfully closed on her home. Well, girl, you out here in a rental with 2 cars worth of townhome. So you also know about flossing while jobless. Quad, why are you trying to talk FICO score when you know yours took a hit in the divorce? So Toya couldn't get credit at Z Gallery and you couldn't marry a successful rich man that you actually wanted to have a child with. You had to settle for Stuart Little and lie to get on the show. You parlayed it into Sorry Circle, which is now on permanent sabbatical. I guarantee you Toya's life insurance is more than your unemployment. Well, that was the Hefisode, but I'll see you soon for Housewives of New York.